Hi, today we are going to see the chapter Classes and Objects. This particular chapter will be implemented based on the concepts of object-oriented programming language. The topics that we are going to cover in this particular chapter is some of the terms that has been used, definition and declaration of the classes and objects, the access specifiers, and defining the objects of a class. So we are going to see all these four as a part 1 video. In part 2, we are going to see the next set of topics covered in this particular chapter, that is members of the class, member functions, arrays as members of a class, arrays as objects, and objects as function arguments. What are the terms that we have already learned in the procedural programming language? That is, the terms that we are familiar with. For example, variables, user-defined data types, structured members, functions, and function call. We are familiar with all these terms, whereas in the object-oriented programming, we use objects instead of variables, classes instead of user-defined data types, instant variables instead of structure members. Instead of functions, we are going to call it as methods. And instead of function call, we are going to use the term message passing. This particular slide talks about what is the meaning of class definition and class declaration. A class definition is a process of naming a class and data variables and the interface operations of a particular class. A class declaration, it specifies the representation of objects of a class and a set of operations that can be applied to such particular objects. What is the syntax and an example of defining a class? Class, class name. After that, you will be having a pair of flower brackets. After opening a flower bracket, you are going to have access specifier followed with colon and data member terminated with semicolon. Along with data member, you can also have member function. You can have a number of data members and member functions, which will be enclosed within the pair of flower brackets. Class access specifiers are the keywords, hence it is indicated in blue color. With respect to the syntax, we are going to see a simple example. Class name will be student. Within the pair of flower brackets, you are going to have access specifier as public, followed with a set of data members and member functions. Data members are the normal variable of a program. A function which can have a set of operations that can be performed on such variables. Hence, registration number, name, fees are the data members. Void input and void output is member function. What is the meaning of access specifier? It defines the scope of the data. There are three different types of access specifiers. First one, private, where only the class member can access the data. Members declared under private are accessible only within the class. By default, the access specifier of the class will be private. Second one is public. Members can be accessed by any function outside the class. There is no restriction as such given for private access specifier. Third one, protected access specifier. This is similar to private specifier, whereas members can be accessed by using a friend function. If any private data members has to be accessed, then it can be accessed with the help of friend function. We will be seeing a simple example of a class definition and defining an object. Class student. Within the class definition, you have three different access specifiers with data members and member function. Defining objects of a class. The syntax: class name, object 1, object 2, and so on, which means a class can contain n number of objects. Example: here we have given a class name as student. S1, S2 are the two different objects of class student. Let us have a complete program of class definition and object definition. Class student, again consisting of same data members, member functions, having an object definition that is declared in main function. Student S1. S1 is the object of a class student. Thank you.